Hi, hello everyone. I am turned around. Hi, Stan. I see you in chat. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to episode 4 of VTubing with Hime. This is a educational podcast catered towards VTubers and streamers alike. Today I have Ryu. I call him Ryu. HajimaRyu is his full name. Hi, hello, Toko. Welcome. I'm trying to be more interactive with chat. I heard everyone, and you guys were like, "Hey, man, you don't like a chat when you do podcasts." Well, because I'm very focused on my guests, not home, but here. All right, I understand. You may notice this fog. I'm sorry. Okay, now I got distracted from my intro. Sorry, this is episode 4, and I am here with Ryu, and today we are talking about rebranding. And it's very exciting. I've done a little bit of rebranding, as you guys know. Kinda, not really. Actually, no, I did because I changed my avatar. So, yes, I have gone through rebranding, but I haven't gone through like super rebranding. What I don't even know what super rebranding is. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I'm just gonna get the podcast started. For anyone that doesn't know, it is a 1 hour show. For the first 30 to 40 minutes, I asked Ryu a couple questions on the topic of rebranding, and then the last 15 minutes or so is going to be open chat, and you guys are allowed to come in and ask any questions. So be sure to think of some questions. You can either ask Ryu or myself. It doesn't have to be about rebranding. It can be about streaming. It can be about anything random, stupid, life, whatever. So throw in your questions and get it ready. So the first question is, Ryu, could you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, I am HajimaRyu, or just Ryu is fine as well. I'm a variety streamer, but I focus mainly on horror games. Yeah,
All right, short and sweet. I like it.
yep.
What are some favorite horror games you've played on stream?
Outlast for sure. And then I gotta definitely say Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7
No.
was one of my favorites for that year.
Really?
Yep.
Resident Evil was like the one game I did not enjoy. I
Yep. I really loved the twist that they did, making it into an actual horror game.
Oh my god, I remember you being in my Resident Evil streams, and I think we were actually streaming it around the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Have you, what was like the most recent horror game you've played?
Uh, I did like three random horror games over on YouTube like a couple of weeks ago, and they were so forgetful. I am trying to remember the names of them, and I just can't. They
I
were so bad.
I was just gonna ask you, like, what horror games? Because I love indie horror, like the cheesy ones. I love them. Hold on, I didn't actually know that you were on YouTube. I'll be
I
honest.
posted one video on YouTube,
I
and that was it.
way more than I've done. Moving on, what is your favorite streaming moment?
Uh, that would probably be when I streamed Power Wash Sim for the first time. After the stream, I made a post saying I had fun on Power Wash Sim, and the official Power Wash Sim Twitter liked my post.
I
I thought it
remember
was dope.
that. Yeah, you even pointed it out.
Yep.
That's a
It's like, oh, it made me big. Where's my Lamborghini?
that must have been huge. It's always nice when the developer will like check you out, I guess. That's only happened to me once with a game I played like, oh my God, like 5 months ago. And I was like, no way. I didn't really like your game, but no way.
Yeah.
Do you remember how long have you been streaming for?
Ooh, I can. I just think.
He's gonna go back. Don't get mad at you for this. I totally put him on the spot for that.
I would say around the time that I became affiliate, because I think I streamed for like 3 days before I got to affiliate.
Took you
That was
three
back
days.
in August, I think.
Took you 3 days?
Yeah.
How long were your streams?
Usually like 2 to 3 hour streams.
You got affiliate in 3 days? That's crazy. A lot of people. I know some people who have been working on it for like a month or almost like 2 months. And I feel like like the path to affiliate to versus the path to partner, when we look at it now, especially where we are now, and it's like, oh, affiliate was so easy, but for new streamers, it's a lot harder. So, do you have any tips
Yeah.
for anybody who is on the road to affiliate at the moment?
Uh, Honestly, just keep going at it. It's all based on an algorithm. Either you've got the algorithm down or you don't. There's no other way of beating it. So just stick it out and you'll eventually get there.
I agree, and I think you guys should aim for 3 days because that's crazy. I think because this is such an old Twitch account, I think it took me like 3 months to get affiliate. But then again, I wasn't very like consistent and it was just very out of the blue with my streams. And so Ryu just did it for like 3 days and I think that's what you gotta do. Did you do a little bit of like networking? Were you in some communities before you started streaming? You just had friends
Uh,
kind of pop by?
I was in a couple bigger communities that where if you self promo in it, you're not going to get noticed like at all. But
Hmm.
basically, for me, it was easier streaming multiplayer games where people can see your ID and then just fucking put the Twitch plug in there. It's shameful, but do it anyways.
With
It,
permission.
yeah, people will definitely stop by your stream if you have TTV in your name.
That's true.
Whether they do that for good reasons or not, it doesn't really matter at that point. It's still views.
What is your insight on people who make accounts with TTV at the end, like their TTV name, like for like your Steam name or like your I don't know your BattleNet name? Have you done that before?
Yeah, I've done that in my Steam name, but that was I used to be just like a consistent Dead by Daylight streamer, and I would have that in my name, and then people would come and look at me after the game. But I do think doing that is incredibly cringy.
You still don't do it, do you?
No, I don't do it anymore.
All right. Note to self: it is cringy. I've never done it, but you know what I was actually thinking about was putting it on my car, like a little sticker, not like the where it's gonna take up like all the doors, but like a little like a bumper sticker, and it's gonna say like Hime Horror TTV. But
I
then I
totally see you doing that too.
thinking about it, and I was like, I think that's a little cringy. And then plus the fact they're gonna know my car IRL, like if someone were to actually like put two and two together. And I don't know. It's funny. I mean, I heard I got that idea because I heard a streamer do it and he put a little bumper sticker on his car with his TTV on it. And he said he got a couple followers from it.
You might get a couple followers from it, but more than likely you'll get a stalker who follows you home too.
Exactly. That is why I did not do it. All right, we are so off topic. I'm sorry, guys. The next question is, why did you choose to be a VTuber versus an IRL streamer?
The freedom. If I don't want to wear pants, I don't have to.
God bless America. I agree. Is that really
I
your
don't.
reason? You don't want to wear pants?
Pretty much. I don't want to have to dress up just to stream. I can be as undressed as I want to be, and no one will know the difference.
That's so true. Unless you're stupid like me, and you guys didn't know that. I turned on my webcam when Ryu and I were in Discord, and I was like, oh, I wonder if he actually was paying attention. Did you see my Christmas pajamas?
Yeah,
I'm embarrassed.
it was such an awesome pose that you were sitting in your chair too.
So embarrassed. Ryu got to see real life me with my hair in a ponytail and I look like shit in my Christmas pajamas and I'm so embarrassed. Anyways, moving on. Would you rather be a big VTuber under a company or a big VTuber independently? Ooh, I think I don't even remember writing this question, but I hope you got
Uh,
an answer.
I do. It's a pretty tough question, but I would probably more like to be independent. As much as I would like the consistent pay and stability that a company would offer, I wouldn't be able to fully be myself.
That was always a big topic because I think you didn't audition for V Shoujo, right?
No.
Yeah, I remember you said you didn't. And then I remember when I put my audition in for V Shoujo, I really started to think, how much are they going to limit you on creativity and how much are they going to control? So that's also something big for any VTubers that are listening or watching this podcast. Really think about, how are you going to be constricted in a contract? I think V Shoujo is pretty lenient with their stuff, though. I assume. I'm
Yeah.
not in it, but I'm assuming.
Yeah, like most of those companies, they will change your entire personality on stream.
Yeah,
They will have you change everything about yourself that makes you yourself in order to please the masses.
it's a very true. It's very true. So, today's topic is about rebranding, and I'm trying to think. Your previous username was Psycho. Was it Psycho VT?
Yep.
Yes, I still remember. I've honestly I've really gotten used to Ryu now. And that's just a whole process of rebranding, and like you went all out. Like you changed your model. Oh, you tweaked your model. You didn't like completely change. You're still recognizable to me is what I'm trying to say, but you did go with the name change.
Yep.
So, what is the meaning to your new name?
Hmm. My name kind of has an ironic meaning to it. The translation of my name literally means calm dragon, but if anyone has watched me, they know that I get annoyed really easily. So I just thought it would be funny to have more of an ironic name.
That is ironic. Like, did you just get to the point where, because obviously you dropped your old name, and were you ever worried? Hold on, actually, let me look at my question list before I ask this, because I think I actually do ask this. I think I do. So I'm gonna skip what I was gonna ask, and I'm just gonna go to the next question. Um, it is the next question. Were you ever worried about dropping viewers from rebranding?
At the time, I wasn't worried about the drop in viewers. It was more of a split second decision, but looking back, I should have been worried about it.
Did you ever like ease them in? Did you ever let your community into the rebranding process? Or was it just
Nope,
kind of like an
they had no
overnight?
idea. It was a split second thing. No one knew.
Oh my gosh. What were the questions that you got?
Surprisingly, I haven't really gotten many questions, considering most of the people that are following me are other streamers, so it's kind of like I go in their chat and tell them, "Hey, I was this, and now I'm this," and it's just went from there.
They were just like, "Oh, you got a new name and maybe even a new persona. That's cool, bro. We get it." I think it is like a streamer to streamer thing. Like you just get it.
Yeah.
Rip Psycho VT. I missed that name. Oh, I already asked this question. I just said, is your community involved in your rebrand? And were they involved in anything
Definitely not.
previously? No, nothing. Um, Moving on here. What is the story of your rebrand and why did you do it? And what were you achieving to convey by your rebrand?
I did a rebrand because I felt like my individuality just wasn't there. It seemed like everywhere I looked, Psycho was in someone else's name, and it just didn't feel like I was bringing anything to the table having the same name that everybody else did.
Was it mainly the name thing? Because you also tweaked your avatar as well.
Yep, it was mainly the name thing. The avatar was just a random thing that my artist decided to do, and I just stuck with it, and now I'm treating this as a completely separate model than my last one.
Hmm. It's crazy because usually when I hear VTubers talk about rebranding, it's always usually a 3D going to 2D, but you stuck with 3D. Because usually
Yep.
3Ds always convert. They always go to the 2D. I'm not trying to make a war here, okay? But obviously there is like the whole 2D versus 3D. Why did you decide to stay 3D?
Uh, Mainly because I can't afford 2D right now. It is super expensive.
So, yeah, 100% I agree.
Because I priced out what my 2D would be with everything that I want. It would be around $2,000.
Oh my God. Okay, actually, let's dive deep a little into that because I have no experience. I've never really like looked into moving 2D because I always plan to stay 3D. So let's let's go from the beginning with this. Like, were you looking at different artists and how did you get to that price point? 2,000? I thought 1,100 was the highest I ever heard, but you take the cake now.
Yep, it's there is a lot of moving parts with the model that I would want for 2D, so it was more of a complex design than most people do. So pretty much the more complex you go, the more expensive it's going to be. It's going to be harder to animate.
That's crazy. $2,000.
Yep.
I think I actually spoke to someone, like a previous guest, and they just did an $800 2D model. And I was like, I can't believe how much it costs. Honestly, from someone that doesn't actually know anything about 2D, I don't know what goes into it. All I know, it's a picture that they have to rig. That is all I know, and I'm assuming that's it. But I'm assuming it's the rigging process is what makes it cost so much.
From my knowledge, and I could be wrong, but it's not just one picture. It's like everything that's in that picture, like the hands are a separate picture, the arms are a separate picture, the torso is a separate picture. It's all different parts that go into the rigging. That's why it's so
Wow.
expensive.
I didn't know that. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That's crazy. Damn.
Like, as far as I know, they have to animate every single part of that picture before it can be rigged.
Oh my God. But making big bang for their buck with that one. I mean, 2D alone has just become this huge industry for artists and VTubers. It's crazy. So this is the future. Watching anime people talk on screen. Welcome to the podcast. Okay, next question here. Have you encountered any confusion from viewers due to rebranding?
Uh, Yeah, I've encountered some, but like I said in one of the previous questions, most of my viewers are other streamers, so in a way that confusion made it a little bit easier. So all I had to do was just pop in their chat and be like, "Hey, I did a rebrand. This was my name, and this is what my name is now."
Yeah, it's almost like a fresh start, I guess. I don't know if that's like the reason why you went with the rebrand. I know you mentioned it was kind of like you felt kind of limited in creativity and you wanted to show a little bit more of yourself, which is great. I mean, I think that's the main reason that a lot of people do rebranding. You kind of find your own footing as a streamer.
Exactly.
I don't know if you went through a whole like self-discovery arc while you're doing this rebranding. I mean, you must have thought about it. I know you make it sound like it was like a shotgun wedding kind of style, but there must have been some planning behind it, right?
Uh, Actually, no, not really. It was just
Really?
on a whim. It was one minute I was Psycho, the next minute I was Hajima. It wasn't really a thought process behind it. It was just like, you know what, I kind of want to change.
I mean, like even like your avatar as well, because your avatar like it looks more edgy, like way more edgy than your previous one. Like
Hmm.
there must have been like some kind of like, yeah, I like that image instead of like dressing up as a cat boy. or something, right? Like there must have been some kind of thought process behind that, right? Oh no. Oh no. Do you? No.
Oh, hold on.
Oh my God. That is the face. I remember. The Psycho VT that I remember. I'm glad you still have this model. My original model is not usable anymore. Like my yeah, like she's gone. I don't have the file anymore, and I was like, oh, I could have saved it for like a little piece of history. Yeah, a little foxtail. Is it a foxtail? Oh,
Uh,
sorry. I go ahead.
I don't know. It was just some random tail that was on Booth, and I thought it would have matched my outfit.
I miss it. It's very cute. You guys have to see Ryu's all of his expressions. He did it for me in Discord, and they are so cute. I have zero expressions on this model, so you guys go ahead and just check out the little slideshow here. Yeah, you know it. It's very sweet. The crying one is a little hard to see, but it's actually the heart one is my favorite. It's really adorable. So, is this your first rebranding?
Yeah, it was actually.
Oh, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I thought there was more, and then I was like, oh, okay. So let's talk about your previous rebrandings, but there's not. What about future rebrandings? Like, do you already like? Are you set in stone with what you have now, or are the wheels kind of turning and you're seeing yourself kind of being like, I could probably tweak this a little bit, or.
As of right now, it's pretty set in stone, but I mean, I do plan on having a 2D at some point, but I don't know, I might even just have them convert this model into 2D.
Is that possible?
I mean, they would just have or they would just have to take artwork of this model and then just do it in a 2D format
That's very
instead
true.
of them just thinking of something out of scratch.
I like this one. I like this model. It honestly, compared to your old one, it's a lot more detailed.
Yeah, it's a lot higher quality than my last one.
For sure. Could he actually get a back view? I don't think I've ever not like of your butt, but like your actual back, because it looks like all these like strappy things in the front. They look like they connect somewhere. This is my first time seeing a full like his full body avatar. I'm glad he's still stuck with the white hair. I got little gloves as well. I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. This model's a lot more edgy. Oh my god. Look at the legs. Damn, there's a lot of love that went into this avatar.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. It's looking good. I like it. Now we gotta get you in the full body so you can put it all in motion.
Yeah. Put those stupid caps on my body. That way I can do full tracking.
Mm-hmm. There is, man, that is like a whole other podcast when it comes to full body tracking with VTubers. And it's kind of like how streamers look at partnership as like the end goal kind of thing. VTubers will look at like full body as end goal. Like not end goal, but like that goal to strive for. But full body tracking costs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like I think the only things you can use for full body is the Vive trackers. I don't know any other. If there's any VTubers in chat or even Ryu, like I don't know any other ways to do full body tracking as a VTuber that is compatible with programs that are meant to do this for VTubers. Like Vive trackers, I think are like 120 each. It adds up.
I'm pretty sure you can get those whole like mocap suits, but I don't necessarily know how it works with programs. So I know that like let's say Project Melody,
Hmm.
she has a full suit that she wears with like those balls on the suit that do the full tracking, and that's how she can do all of her other stuff besides like Twitch and stuff like that.
Other stuff besides Twitch.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say that on the podcast, but I know what Ryu means. I've actually looked into those suits because I was really curious before I bought the Vive trackers. Those suits are like 3 grand starting.
Yeah, they
Like,
are very expensive.
I mean, it does a lot. It's worth it, but holy, 3 grand. So obviously Vive trackers would be the cheapest option, but then there's like you need a tracker for your head if you don't have a headset. I don't have like the headset for it. I have one for my head and my hands, and then there's one for the waist and then the feet. But it's not even that with the trackers. You gotta buy the base stations, and the base stations are like 200 something.
Hmm.
It's a lot. I don't know how we got here to full body tracking when we're on the topic of rebranding, but let's it's you know what, anything VTuber. Let's talk about anything VTuber tonight. So, moving on here, has your rebrand changed the games that you play on stream?
Uh, it hasn't really. I still play pretty much whatever I want. The only difference is I don't really play Dead by Daylight on stream anymore, just out of the fact that every time I played it, I was super annoyed on stream. But other than that, I pretty much still play all the same stuff that I used to on my other model.
Let's track back to the Dead by Daylight thing.
Okay.
Like, are you rage quitting? Is that why you stopped playing Dead by Daylight?
No, I still play Dead by Daylight on like other people's streams or offline. I just don't really play it online myself. Because I notice every time I play it or every time I stream it, I just get annoyed by everything.
That must not be fun. And that's a really good example for because the way that you act on stream really sets the mood for how your viewers see you, and especially new viewers who are coming in. And it's better to, I mean, you don't have to be like the happiest person in the world, but it is nice when you're not super annoyed. And so that's a good call, not
Yeah.
wanting to play Dead by Daylight anymore. I've never played. I played like 2 games of Dead by Daylight, so I can't really understand the annoyance, but it's a good call that you took it off. Is there any games recently that you've been sinking your teeth into?
Uh, lately I've been more just not really playing anything. I've been kind of taking a mild break from gaming just to hopefully get the spark that I used to have for gaming.
Hmm. Any games in the future that you plan on playing?
Uh,
Like any horror games that you're like looking forward to, or even for the holidays? Everybody is going to be on a winter break. And this is a good time for especially us streamers to kind of get the ball rolling and take advantage of a lot of people who are coming home for the holidays.
I would definitely say the game that I'm most excited for would definitely have to be the new Outlast game that's supposed to be coming out.
The co-op one?
Yeah,
That's not coming out
I'm
till
s-
next year, though.
I'm pretty sure it's early next year, but yeah,
I am super hyped. There's
that's gonna be a
also,
lot of fun.
yeah. What I'm afraid of is can they still keep that really intense horror aspect while being co-op?
I'm gonna be totally honest, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be a memey mess, but I think I'm ready for it.
There is actually a really good game that does co-op really well. What is it called? A Way Out. It's like
Hmm.
you and your friend trying to get out of prison kind of thing, and they do it really really well, where like there's moments of like split screen,
Hmm.
and if they brought that kind of aspect to Outlast, have you played A Way Out?
I have not. I've seen a walkthrough on it though. It definitely looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. Or I'm trying to think of like horror co-op games, something like the oh
If you
man,
say devour, I'm leaving.
Devour. No, what do you got against Devour?
It is way too memey to be considered a good horror game. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but it is so memey.
That's so true. A Way Out, the one game Hime hasn't finished. I finished A Way Out. Faz? No, I'm. What is the game by Dark Anthologies or whatever? I don't know. I always forget their names, but they're really good at horror aspect because there's a lot of times that you're actually split up from your co-op horror partner. So then it starts to feel like a single player again, and it has that like linear path that you feel alone again without your friend. And I think Outlast is actually going to be doing a lot of that, to
I
be
hope
honest.
so.
Yeah. I think you're only gonna see your friend for probably like 10 minutes and the game's gonna be like, nah, fuck you. You'll see your friend again in an hour.
I just hope they don't ruin it by doing some split screen stuff for co-op. Like it works for the game that you're talking about, but I just don't think it would work for Outlast. I think it would completely take
Mm-hmm.
away from the horror aspect of it.
That's true, that's true. Because the moment you see your friend's screen, you feel a little safer because it's like you got another pair of eyes in a different
Yeah.
area. Yeah, I completely agree. Man, my podcast today with Ryu, we are just going on a tangent off of rebranding. That's fine. It's fine. All right. Next question. Actually, we have two questions left here, guys. So if you have any questions for Ryu, be sure to uh, tag me. Is it called tag in the Twitch chat so I can see it? If you have any questions about streaming, rebranding, any of that, feel free to ask them in chat. So the next question I have here is for other VTubers or streamers in general thinking of rebranding, what are some tips you could give them?
Uh, Definitely think before you decide on it, because your viewership will go down at first because they will be like, well, who is this? I don't, they'll be like, I don't remember following this person. Even if you post on Twitter or in Discord, just be prepared for that.
I didn't even think about that. When it came to your social medias, like your Twitter, and I was very surprised actually to learn that you had a TikTok. Did you experience any like unfollows or even less interactivity? Because they probably thought, oh, who the hell is this?
My average has definitely gone down. I went from having like a 15 viewer average to having like a 3 viewer average after the rebrand.
What? How did that happen? That's kind of a big jump.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it mainly has to do with my times of streaming now because I before I rebranded, I would make sure and stream at like 2 p.m. every other day. And now I do it at like 8 p.m. And 8 p.m. is like happy hour for like every other person I know that streams that follows me. And then there's also the fact that a lot of the people that are following me aren't on my Twitter, so they don't know that I rebranded.
It's true. It's like seeing a stranger on like your Twitch dash or your Twitter or something.
Yeah.
But that's very true. Really keep in mind, especially to anybody new who is kind of thinking of their first rebrand, there's going to be a little bit of an impact that you are going to see in your socials, in your Twitch. So keep that in mind that that is a risk factor, but don't let that take away from the fact that you shouldn't rebrand. I think everybody VTuber or not, especially as a streamer, rebranding could do nothing but good. Especially if it's something that you are passionate about, something you really want to get out there, something that can make you stand out from everybody else, which Ryu stands out to me compared to everybody else because he's very, very unique looking. And
Well, thank you.
just you know what, if it feels right, just do it. Go for the rebrand. If you've been looking at your I don't know, your about panels and you've been deciding on colors, maybe get like a second opinion or something, or just do it. Don't be afraid to do it if you think it's gonna bring nothing but good. Like put yourself out there. So, the final question that I ask everybody on the podcast is, what is your number one tip for new or aspiring VTubers?
Uh, don't compare yourself to other streamers. Even if they're at the same level that you are, there's a possibility that they will grow faster than you will. Streaming is all on an algorithm. You either have good luck or you have bad luck, and definitely use Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, whatever's at your disposal. Even big streamers will tell you don't put all your eggs in just one basket. You will not grow that way.
Okay, I want to go a little bit deeper on the algorithm thing because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what it is. I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to the
Okay.
algorithm thing.
So, algorithm basically is the rate at which people see your channel.
Mhm.
Like, let's take YouTube for example. There are specific days where YouTube videos have a higher algorithm than live streaming, and the other days vice versa. Basically, with that, if you stream on a day that is good for or for videos, you won't get as many or as much of a following as you would streaming on the other days. And it pretty much works the same way with Twitch. Like higher channels will get recommended more than smaller channels. And pretty much the only way to really get out of that algorithm is just to cross post, let people know you're live in Discord channels, Twitter, make TikTok videos. That's
Do you,
about it.
do you have any tips for people who are looking into this whole algorithm thing, aka myself? Is there a way to like read it? Or is it just something you just Google, like, what is the best days to stream?
Uh,
Or is it
I'm
just
pretty
trial and
sure that
error?
it's more of a trial and error thing. I'm pretty sure the YouTube thing, it's more of a common thing to see compared to Twitch. Like you can actually research it on YouTube. Twitch is more of like a more of a trial and error thing. It's either you'll get recommended or you won't. It's kind of hard to see the algorithm on Twitch.
Twitch, and honestly, Twitch and YouTube, since they are so saturated, yeah, it's really hard to grow. But you know, if you keep pushing and you network, you eventually get there.
Exactly.
There's something you said at the beginning of your answer, and actually, the main thing you said is don't compare yourself to other streamers. Is there's a story behind that, and we would like to hear said story.
Uh, it's not necessarily my story. It's more of just going off of what I see other people do. It's more like if you have one person in your channel, don't compare yourself to someone that has 100,000 people in their channel because they are doing something different than what you are. Everyone does things differently. And don't try and change yourself to be what you think a bigger streamer is. Just be yourself.
That's really true. And that was especially true when I first started streaming, and especially when I saw other VTubers who pretty much started at the same time I did, and I would go to their stream and I'll be like, why do they have like for example, I started with like maybe like 3 viewers, and then I'll go to someone else's channel who has streamed pretty much the same time and they got 5, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm totally guilty for this. There's probably every streamer has probably had it in the back of their mind where they start comparing themselves, and then but don't think of it as like a negative thing. I mean, I still kind of do it, I'm not gonna lie, but I've learned to accept it because it's more so learning how to turn it into something positive and just kind of like not like stealing someone's ideas, but looking at what they're doing and what even their viewers like and kind of remixing it, I guess, to a way of your own style.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we all do it. I mean, we all take ideas, right? There's nothing wrong with it as long as you put your own spin on it.
Yeah,
But also note that if it works for someone else, it might not work for you. I
that's
can't. Yeah, sorry.
that's like Moist Critical, for example. He is an extremely weird dude, but it works for him. It does not mean that it's going to work for you if you're just being weird out of nowhere.
That's so true. So are you saying if I dye my hair as ninja, I'm not gonna get ninja numbers? Ryu was
No.
supposed to laugh and he didn't laugh.
I don't think that's how it works, Chief.
So, also on the comparison thing, and this is a bit of a deep topic that does get talked about quite a bit in the VTuber community, is the male versus female VTubers.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that it kind of ties in into comparing yourself. So, obviously, being a male VTuber, duh.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know any other like female VTubers who have pretty much started their journey maybe the same time as you, it's no surprise that female VTubers grow faster than male VTubers. And Rio, I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
that you've seen it and saw it like happen around you. And I don't know, do you have any tips for any male VTubers that are just kind of like, oh, well, why should I even be a VTuber or when it's run by women, right? Like you have any tips for anyone who's just kind of down in the dumps, for any males that
Uh,
are down in the dumps?
you just have to push through it. It's a very horny business. You have to push through it. Females will always have a better chance in this than males, but it doesn't mean that you have zero chance, so just keep going with it.
Mm-hmm. Like you could be like probably the best like entertaining person and you want to be a male VTuber, but you're hiding it from the world because you're like, oh, well, it's so woman dominated. Why should I try? Just do
Yeah.
it. Just try it. You never know. I want to clarify more on what you mean by eggs, putting all your eggs in a basket. I think that's kind of like I don't, were you just saying that like you shouldn't focus solely on Twitch? Because you were also talking about YouTube and TikTok. Do you have any social media tips?
Uh, Basically what I was meaning is just yeah, don't focus primarily on Twitch. Make sure, I mean, that can be your main focus. Just make sure and also post on Twitter, even if it's just some stupid stuff, just post it on Twitter. Or just if you're in a lot of Discord communities and they have self promo channels, take advantage of that. It's a good way to get your name out there, even if the chance is small that one of those people will actually click on it, but there's still a chance.
And you know what's crazy? That's actually the story between Ryu and I, and the whole connection thing. We are actually on the same VTuber team. That is how we met.
True. I saw he may post in the VTuber thing, and then I clicked on the profile.
It's crazy. Like, I'm not active in that community, but it,
I'm not either.
okay, thank
There's
God.
so many bad rumors, and it's just I don't even go on that channel
Uh-uh.
anymore.
But you know what? We found each other, and that's all that matters. See, even something so small, we weren't exactly looking for each other, but you stumble on people, and you're like, hey, I might enjoy this person. And Ryu and I have kind of it's a form of networking, is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Are you active on your TikTok? I haven't actually went to your TikTok yet.
Uh, Not really. I've posted a few videos. I literally just made it like a week ago, and I'm pretty much using that as like shorts from like my Twitch streams, or if I want to, like, I posted an evolution of my models video on there.
That's cool.
Just random stuff.
All right. Yeah, I've heard so much great success about people using TikTok, so that's good. There's a whole VTuber community that I didn't even know about on TikTok, so that's great. We have two, I think these are two questions from Stand in chat. The first question is, when it comes to rebranding, do you believe it's important to have some elements from before rebranding carry over or a fresh slate?
Mm, I mean, that's totally up to you on what you want to do. I mean, if you want to go the fresh slate route, I mean, by all means, go for it. I mean, it's not going to hurt you either way, whether you go full rebrand or just partial. So, I mean, if you want to do a rebrand, just go for it. Either way, it's going to be a positive.
Hmm. I agree. I think I've done like a little bit of both, like going from my first model to now. I like doing the whole like pink hair to black hair. I can't even say I rebranded because like I base my avatar on myself, so it doesn't really count. But I don't know if mine was full or partial, but I don't think there's any right or wrong answer when it comes to just how much or if you want to start fresh. I feel like if it's come to the point where you want to start fresh, and I think this will only work more so for newer streamers or newer VTubers, if you really want to start fresh, I think you should just make a new account at that point.
Yeah. Like, um, if we're being really technical about rebranding, technically, any outfit change or any hair color change would be considered a rebrand. If you want to be super technical.
That's true. That's true. Because people start to know you for that image.
Exactly.
So that's very true. Even like I was told recently, in the past 2 weeks, I changed my avatar on Twitter like 3 times. And
Hmm.
somebody DM'd me and was like, "Oh, I didn't even know it was you. You keep changing your picture." And I'm like, I guess people really do stick to like an image or even like a song or even some kind of like catchphrase, and it really sticks onto you. So that's you also think about when you're rebranding, have people remember certain colors about you, or like there's so many small little details that maybe you don't even think that people are seeing, but they associate it with you. So be sure to keep
Yeah.
that in mind as well. So Stand also asks here, how important to you is ensuring previous viewers of your content feel that you haven't lost touch with them, making sure those viewers still feel like it's you they're watching, not someone completely different. It's a bit of a hefty question there, Stan.
Hmm. It's a pretty confusing question, if I'm being honest.
Stan asks like the beefiest questions on every podcast. I'm trying to think of a way to reiterate this. It's pretty much saying if you've rebranded, how do you make your viewers feel like it's still you and not someone completely different? Which I think is what you were trying to say, Stan, if you
Mm,
could confirm. But that's tough because unless you're going for a completely different like character change, which doesn't usually happen with rebranding, um, along those lines.
it's kind of hard to answer that question because I didn't change my personality or anything, so I'm still the exact same person that I was before the rebrand. I still do all the same stuff. I just have a different name and a different model. So it's
Hmm.
kind of hard to really gauge that question.
That's really true. I can't say I can't say it's a like more like a rebranding thing, but I've done like small improvements, right? Like if you
Yeah.
go back to my first stream, which I don't think is even up anymore, I've learned how to speak a little slower and speak a little bit more clearer compared to like when I did my first 10 streams. I think it's more so improvements versus rebranding. And I don't know. I honestly I'm trying to think if I were really to do a full rebranding and have people be like, "Oh yeah, that's Hime." Like if I change my name to Hime Happiness or something, if you guys came back here, you'd be like, "Who the hell are you?" And you change your character. You know what I mean? Like it's
Or if you change your name to Connor Hime.
maybe that's an idea. Like you guys would just be like, "Who the hell are you?" And that's why I said like going back to saying if you were to completely start fresh and like new slate everything, it's easier for people who have probably less than like 50 followers, not a lot of viewers in their stream to do that fresh start. So if you were doing like a really big rebranding, I would really suggest to go little by little and kind of get your community involved in it. Like first change your hair and then, maybe change like if you're adding a character, add a little bit of that personality in and see how your viewers react to it, right? Especially
Yeah.
if you're more of an established streamer, like just add it little by little. And it's also a good way to get feedback from viewers because they'll either be like, dude, what the hell is this? Or it'll be a total success and they'll be like, wow, this is so great. Let's keep going with this. It's kind of like if somebody were a single game streamer and then they were like, okay, well, I'm gonna go play something else now. You don't do it immediately. It's something you
Yeah,
want to do.
exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of because it'll be like a shock to your viewers, and that's a really fast way to lose viewers. So just do it little by little, I think is the best way to integrate your audience into seeing a newer, different you.
Yeah, that's like going from playing only horror games to playing Fortnite.
That's true. And that has happened here on this channel where people expect horror games and I'll go off and I'll play Overwatch or Fortnite. Yeah, I don't get as much viewers as I do, so that's
Yeah.
very true. People are just like, we're not here for that. We have two questions here from Toko. First question is, did you have a better time streaming after rebranding?
I would definitely say I enjoyed streaming more after I rebranded than I did before. Um, so overall, I would say, yeah, after my rebrand, I had a lot better time of it.
Honestly, I get that energy from you as well.
Yeah,
100%. I feel like you're in the avatar that you've always wanted to be in and you're just I feel like it's more you feel more you. And I can see that shining through.
exactly. Like my last model, I loved it. I didn't feel like it was me.
Mhm. 100%. Second question here from Toko is, what is your favorite thing about streaming? That's a fun question.
Uh, Definitely the conversation with people in chat. Like if I have one person talking in my chat, I'm happy for that entire stream.
Aww. Note to self, Ryu will appreciate all viewers, 1 or 10.
Yes.
That's nice. What do you like, is there any like convos or any kind of interactions from previous viewers that just really sticks out to you?
Uh, Not really. Most of the time it's people wanting this voice. So it's kind of like
Ooh, woo.
ooh woo.
So, are you going to be opening up an ASMR YouTube channel anytime soon or?
If I wanted to pay for the programs for editing software, I would. but I don't.
You should. All right. We are about to wrap up the podcast, guys. I think we are actually way past an hour, I believe. But if you guys have any more questions for Ryu or myself, it could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about rebranding. Feel free to ask them. But I do have a question for you, Ryu, which is off script. What are your
Okay.
2022 VTuber slash streamer goals?
Oh shit. I didn't think I was gonna hit with the job interview. Uh, uh, my goal would definitely to be more consistent because right now I'm not all that consistent, not as much as I used to be. Like I haven't streamed in like probably 8 days, so I want to definitely be more consistent. I just haven't had like I want to say the motivation to do it.
I feel that. Do you feel like you've kind of hit a wall, or is this more of a burnout kind of thing?
No, it's just more of a I get seasonal depression really bad, so it kind of gets to where I don't really want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just gotta get out of that.
Now I feel bad asking it. Here, I'll ask a more fun question. Do you have any funny troll stories that has happened on stream?
Funny troll stories. Uh, Pretty much what I was telling you off stream earlier when I got that message on Twitch. I got a message from someone while I was streaming with a friend of mine who also made my model, and she has a more unique voice, and this person was like making fun of her and was calling me a furry. I was like, okay, dude. Like people actually check their Twitch messages, and then he may, of course, hit me with the, well, I check my Twitch messages.
I do check my Twitch messages every day. Who doesn't? Oh my gosh, you might get like fan mail or something.
Like I have like 30 different Discords that I'm in. I have Twitter, I have YouTube. There's so many things I get notifications for. I can't check them all.
That's true. Okay, here, let me switch up the question. Has there been any fun troll, actually, not even troll, any fun memories as a VTuber you've had on Twitter?
Any fun had on Twitter? Uh
I put Rio on the spot and I feel bad. I will bring up one of my fun things, I guess, on Twitter while Rio thinks of it. I never knew how big and friendly. Like this is not my first time on Twitter. I'm not new to Twitter, and I've been in kind of like the anime community, I guess, with my previous account, but I didn't expect much from the VTuber community, and I kind of felt people like VTubers or streamers actually to be kind of to themselves because in streaming it's kind of like every man for themselves kind of thing, and everybody wants something for themselves, and they don't really want to give back, I guess, in a way. So I always figure the VTuber community would be a little bit more selfish, but there's been a lot of people, including Ryu, who I've learned are actually very giving, and not everybody you meet on the internet are bad people. So it's really been fun for me to learn in on Twitter. Twitter made me really realize that, and I'm really glad that I met a lot of great VTubers. Toko, give me my ah. You odd Ryu, give me my ah. What the fuck, dude? Here I am trying to be wholesome, and then we have Ryu in the background being lewd. Terrible. No more wholesome on this podcast. No more of that. You ever think of getting a leap motion, Ryu?
I've thought about it. I just don't really know how I would go about it. Like I don't. know where I would even buy it.
Dude, me too. Originally, when I was looking for it, I went on Amazon and it's sold out. I actually found it on the Canadian version of Craigslist. And that's how I got my I don't know what this kid was using this for. He was a really young kid and he was selling his Leap Motion. So mine is actually used and it's still working and it's great because they came out with this really huge update on VC Face
Hmm.
that supports Leap Motion, and it's way cheaper than getting a bunch of Vive trackers.
Yeah.
So for yeah, Leap Motion, huge for any VTubers who want to get some hands in. I only brought up Leap Motion because Ryu was doing his stupid hand motion, and I learned in the update in the update of Leap Motion, I can do the finger and whatever Ryu is doing to be lewd, terrible, when I'm trying to be wholesome. Anyways, guys, I don't see any questions in chat unless I missed some. Don't think so. Anyways, guys, we are going to wrap up the podcast. We are 14 minutes over, which is good. We had a lot of laughs and a lot of talks with Ryu, and I hope you guys learned a lot when it comes to rebranding and hopefully got some tips or anything. You can always feel free to ask more questions in my Discord or even hit up Ryu. So, Ryu, where can they find you? Just drop some of your socials here.
They can follow me on TikTok, YouTube. Uh, I don't know if I posted my YouTube. If I didn't, that's fine. Uh, TikTok or Twitch and Twitter.
Yes, I was gonna go in and post some links here so you guys could check Rio out. And then I ended up putting in some new rules into my chat and I got blocked by my own rule to put it
Just be
in.
prepared. If you follow me on Twitter, I horny post a lot. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Yes, he does. I think that's just something that everybody has to get used to when it comes with VTubers. It's like the norm.
It really is.
All right, guys. What? They're calling you a male version of me. I don't post any horny stuff on my Twitter. Not like Ryu. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you to chat for being here and thank you for asking your questions, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this episode 4, right? Episode 4 with Ryu about rebranding. And I don't have a new date yet for the next podcast because I'm going to be taking Sunday off and I usually do podcasts on the weekend, but this weekend I'm doing a 12-hour stream. Ryu, have you done a 12-hour stream before?
I have not. The most I've done so far was an 8 hour.
That's still brutal.
And that was my first stream of Resident Evil 7, I think.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Was it rough?
It wasn't as rough as my 2 hour streams, if I'm being honest.
What?
Yeah.
A bit of a big jump. Anyways, guys, I don't have any new times, new dates, anything for the next podcast episode, but I have after Ryu, I have 3 more guests, and that is actually going to be the end of season 1 of the podcast. So season 1 are going to be a bunch of the OGs who have really brought this podcast to where it is. So I'd like to thank Ryu and previous and future guests for being on the podcast. And then I'm going to take a bit of a break and then we will kick it off with season 2. And maybe we'll even see Ryu again if he ever wants to come back and maybe talk about another topic. It's totally up to him. So thank you guys
Usual.
again. Bye. Have a good night. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye, chat.